Namaskaram. In my previous video, I spoke about some of the fundamental issues that plague our approach to education, and we discussed 5 fundamental issues. And I mentioned that in a future video, I'll be talking about the solutions that we need to be looking at to solve these issues. So, the first issue is that of the flawed purpose. In a way, this is the mother of all the other problems that we have with education. The purpose is misplaced, and the purpose we have right now is just to shape individuals in such a way that the society or the economy benefits out of these individuals. This is not about the individuals, this is about preparing them to be used elsewhere. And because of this, we have very lopsided approach to education where we are only honing those aspects of an individual that are useful outside. And right now, this is the masculine aspects of our intelligence which are useful, which have a market value, and we are sharpening those aspects of the individual and neglecting the other aspects. So this we have to change, we have to redefine the purpose of education so that the individual becomes the center of attention. The individual, we have to ensure that we are shaping the individual to be as wholesome as possible. And it's not even that we have to shape them in such a way. It's more about providing the environment where the individual can grow to their fullest potential. If we can ensure that education is doing just this much, we can ensure that the society as a whole will be well and will be benefited out of this. Because at the end of the day, society is made up of individuals, and if the individuals are all self-sufficient and balanced and have grown to their fullest potential, then the society as a whole is definitely going to sort itself out. So to ensure that individuals attaining to their fullest potential and growing to their fullest is the objective of education, is going to alleviate a lot of other problems that are a result of this problem. The second issue is the lack of balance, and it's very, very related to the first issue of the misplaced purpose. If you look at the situation right now, like we have a large number of people who are basically lopsided in how they are as an individual. Certain aspects of their intelligence are very, very finely honed, and certain other aspects are completely neglected. And this again is the result of shaping individuals to a utilitarian purpose of making them useful in the economy. That's resulted in something like this. And essentially what's happened is all the masculine aspects of their intelligence are finely honed, and the feminine aspects are neglected. And this is leading to a lot of mental health imbalances. So the solution obviously is to ensure that we are honing, or rather we are allowing for the individual to mature both in their masculine aspects and then the feminine aspects as well. And when I say masculine and feminine, I'm just talking about the fact that there is a logical side to our intelligence that tries to look outside and tries to find reason and tries to categorize things and all this. And there is also the feminine aspect of intelligence, which looks within and tries to find self-expression and has needs for creative outlets. These are the feminine aspects of intelligence. We need to design the educational apparatus in such a way that both of these find equal importance, and every individual who goes through it successfully will come out with the mature sides of mature states of both of these sides of our intelligence. And it's not just about the masculine and feminine, it's also about ensuring that the individuals are well equipped to handle themselves. And by this I mean that the individuals need to be having a certain level of spiritual awareness. And when I say spiritual awareness, I don't mean to say religious or moralistic teachings or ideologies. I'm speaking more about the abilities, the individual's ability to look inward and have a certain clarity about their own internal state, their own mind and emotions, and their own internal well-being. They're able to consciously examine those and have clarity in it, and then handle them. So this also needs to be emphasized, and needs to be a skill that everyone should have. So that is the second thing that we need to ensure. The third fundamental issue that we looked previously was the emphasis on content over skill. And obviously to have a lot of content memorized in your mind is not a very useful skill to have in this day and age. What we instead need to emphasize on is the ability to apply one's knowledge in versatile environments, to be agile and adaptive in response to changing circumstances outside, to creatively resolve situations, to be able to work with others, to be able to negotiate, to be able to convince others of your own ideas. These are all things that are actually valuable, and education should ensure that these skills are available to everybody, and also they gain mastery in these abilities. And these are not things that you do by making them sit down in front of you and then teach them these skills. These are not things that are taught. These are things that are learned. And what we need to ensure is, we need to ensure that the education process is designed in such a way that kids have the opportunities to exercise these skills, and we need to expose them to various situations where they are required to apply these skills and exercise these skills, of course with guidance, with mentorship. But only when they repeatedly expose themselves to situations where they have to apply it and their success depends on it, will they actually gain mastery over these skills. So we need to bring these skills into the forte of the individuals. Now the fourth thing is, the fourth problem that we discussed earlier was the overemphasis on certification. This is actually not a problem in itself. It's actually a consequence of a more profound problem, which is that the whole point of the way this education system is designed this way is to generate large number of subordinates. And that's what we're doing. We've designed the whole educational infrastructure in such a way that the kids learn to grow up as subordinates. They're used to listening to others and not having anything to say back themselves. Absolute obedience is required of them, and whether things make sense to them or not, they're required to be a certain way. All of these result in a society where there's a large number of subordinates who are available as a resource for a few people with power to use in enforcing their own vision. So this is exactly what is going on. We have a few number of elites at the very top who have unlimited access to subordinates who will enforce their vision of how things need to be. And this has to change. This is the whole certification industry is for this. It's not for the individual's benefit or the society's benefit. It's for the convenience of the few people who have the power to use these subordinates as a resource. And what we need to focus instead on is designing the education system in such a way that we are generating large number of individuals who are capable of leading themselves, self-leaders. And the individuals at the least need to be able to lead themselves. If they're able to lead more, if they have the caliber for that, then that's fantastic. But at the least, they should be able to lead themselves, think on their own, and take initiative, be proactive. And these are all things that you will not be good at unless you have the ability, you've had the experience of exercising these, exercising the ability to take initiative, do something on your own, take the lead in doing something. And we need to expose kids to situations where they're required to take initiative. And when you do this over and over, they'll inevitably start to think for themselves, start to make decisions, start to differentiate between right and wrong approach to doing something, make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. This will lead to a lot of gathering of wisdom. And of course, at the end of the day, we're going to have a society filled with individuals who had a certain amount of experience in exercising their own volition, their own intentions, and they get to a certain level of adeptness at doing that. And when your society is filled with leaders, it's going to be much more self-running rather than having somebody who is supposed to manage all of that. So this is an important step we need to make. It's going to have a huge repercussion in the quality of our society if we ensure that individuals are adept at taking initiatives and being proactive and being leaders. The last problem that I discussed was the lack of freedom for educators. If you look at the structure of the hierarchy of the education infrastructure, we have a few people at the very top who, in a way, they understand how things need to be. They understand what's good, what's not, and they pass down the instructions down below, and all the way down to the very bottom, we have individuals who are supposed to follow those instructions and play their role in enforcing their vision, the vision of the people at the top. And this is good for certain things, but I mean, it's good for things like ensuring that there's no fundamental lapses in how things happen if it's executed properly. But it also restricts the freedom and adaptability of the system. The freedom of the educators is largely minimized. They pretty much don't have any freedom. They're all just puppets who are supposed to enforce the agenda passed down from the top. And this is really bad because the educators at the ground are the ones who actually have an idea as to what will work, what won't work. Of course, they need to be competent enough to do that. But only if you allow freedom to the educators, we're going to have new ideas pop up in how to educate an individual, how to do what is actually needed. And when you have large numbers of educators innovating and addressing the situation in front of them, we're going to have new ideas pop up large scale, and through that, everybody can learn off each other, and there can be a lot of innovation and collaboration in the pedagogical approaches to how they're doing what they're doing. So to offer freedom to the educators is going to change the fundamental landscape of education. And it will also offer them incentive to innovate and actually be good educators rather than be mundane. Now, these are some of the solutions And these are not very detailed. These are very high level. This is a very high level discussion at the moment. But in the future, we'll also have discussions about how exactly to implement these things and how we as an organization are going to participate in that. But for now, this is it. I hope this makes sense. And if you wish to show your support, please consider subscribing to this channel, and please share your views through comments and suggestions on the comment section below. And you can also share this with people who may appreciate these things. And please follow us on Twitter and Medium, where we publish periodically about what's being done about these things. And if you have any other suggestions, please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.